Morning Glory, America. Bonjour. Hi, Canada. Hugh Hewitt, joined by Alaska Senator Dan Sullivan. Good morning, Senator. Welcome back to the Hugh Hewitt Show.
Good morning, Hugh. Great to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
I want to get to the LNG facility in Alaska, but what do you think of the Browns draft? I know you're a fan.
Yeah, no pick until the third round. Not sure how that happened, right? I mean, given that they've been in the basement. And, Hugh, I mention it every time we're on the show. We need a franchise quarterback. Haven't had one in, 4 decades. So we'll see what Deshaun Watson can do. I have my doubts, but that to me is the key to the drought of no Super Bowls in the history of the franchise.
Yeah, Brian Sipe, Mike Phipps, Frank Ryan. We got to go way back to come up with one of those, but hopefully it is Watson. We'll see. Now, Senator, big win for Alaska. The LNG approval. I want people to know why this matters and why they should applaud. And I think we even owe some shout-outs to the Biden administration for not screwing this up.
Well, I would say it begins with the Trump administration, right? This has been in permitting for a long, long time. Alaska is the first place anywhere in the world to start exporting LNG. We started exporting LNG to Japan in the late 60s. The most reliable place in the world, never missed a cargo shipment to our Japanese allies. But, Hugh, this is the big LNG project that we've been working on in Alaska for over a decade. And the Biden administration did issue a final environmental impact statement. It was very supportive. And so this project now has all its federal permits, all its state permits. And as you know, this is great for Alaska, of course, for jobs and getting clean burning energy to Alaskans. But it's also great for our allies, and it really, really is important because one of the great strategic advantages we have over our adversaries, be it Russia or China, is American energy. And it helps workers, it helps our energy security, it helps our allies. By the way, read the Biden administration, EIS, it helps the environment. Don't listen to the far left radical enviros who are screaming about this. This is a win-win-win across the board. Now we just got to continue progress on it, but it's exciting.
Now, Senator, I don't ever ask other senators to bag on their colleagues, but I've been having fun with Sheldon Whitehouse today because if there's going to be a spelling team put together or a college bowl from the Senate, they're not going to pick Sheldon Whitehouse for the Democrats. But he chairs the Environmental Committee, went after the Heritage Foundation person, and that's neither here nor there. Does he support this, or is he in the pocket of the left-wing radicals on this particular project?
I haven't talked to Senator Whitehouse about this. I think you have a number of senators, certainly all the Republicans support it. And I think you have a number of the Dems who quietly support these projects because they actually read the statements. They understand the actual data. And like I said, even if you're, someone who strongly supports the environment. By the way, Hugh, I strongly support the environment.
Of course.
This is a win-win-win across the board. All I tell people is, read the environmental impact statement from the Biden administration. It's not like they're a bunch of, pro-energy guys. And that's similar. Last time I was on the show, we talked about the Willow Project. Same thing. In Alaska, a big oil project that when you look at the Biden administration's own environmental impact statement, they said, hey, we should move forward on this. By the way, the Trump administration, approved that project as well. Biden was just reapproving it. But one of the reasons you got to do that is because if you don't produce American energy here, then who's going to produce it? Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, Russia. They have horrible environmental standards, and a lot of those countries are our adversaries. So it makes total sense. Win-win-win. Yes, on the environment, but for jobs, national security, energy security. And, hey, in the aftermath of the brutal Russian invasion of Ukraine, our allies need American energy. Let's get it to them.
Yeah, amen. And that is the good news. Let's go to the bad news. I want to talk to you about our security state. The fact that a 21-year-old airman has spilled our TSA, SCI secrets all over the internet. I just talked about this with Admiral Stavridis, with Senator Talent. We need to fix this, Senator. This can't go on. What do you think? You were a Marine Corps, I think you were on Intel, and you were on the National Security Council. You've got every clearance that there ever was when you were a kid. How do we stop it from ending up with gamers sharing it with everybody?
Hugh, you're so right. I mean, this is outrageous, right? This is outrageous. And look, we thought that the national security agencies were going to address this after we had all these other WikiLeaks and other similar situations where low-level folks who don't know much about the military get security clearances. My understanding is this guy was just like some kind of technician, right? And an Air Guard member, very low rank, and he has top secret clearance to classified information, compartmentalized information that gives him access to everything. That is nuts. And I thought that the national security agencies were fixing this, and in light of the last big leaks that we had from similar folks. The first thing we need to do is throw the book at this guy. There's some people saying, "Oh, he's an American hero." Baloney.
Baloney.
He knew what he was doing, and whatever the maximum jail time is for some clown like this, in my view, he should get it. If it's 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, to send a deterrent signal to, some of the other members of the military, the Guard, saying, hey, if you do this, you're going to spend your life behind bars. But we need to get to the bottom of why people who don't have, you know how it is, you've served in these high-level positions, need to know. This guy,
Senator, I actually was telling my guest last hour, when you were in grade school, I was running OPM. I was the director of OPM at the end, their general counsel before that, their deputy director before that. And OPM gets everything that nobody else wants to do, DOD, NSA, or the FBI. They get it all, and they're bad at it. They were bad at it then. They're worse at it now. Nobody wants to do the clearance work because it's boring grudge work. The United States has to resolve to fix this across every level of government, and to get a special badge if you're going to be going into a SCIF. I just can't believe it's this bad, and it is. It's going to get worse. We're going to have sixth graders in computer labs hacking DOD.
Well, and your point on OPM, Hugh, you remember the Chinese hacked into that system.
Oh yeah, they know everything about me.
Took every SF-86, including mine, including yours. 22 million Americans now have their most intimate details as part of the Communist Chinese Party background on us. So, yeah, OPM's a disaster. It has been for a long time.
Oh, it was when I was there too. It's just like the personnel office of the government, and it's a disaster.
Well, and if you might remember, they were warned about how bad their cybersecurity was with regard to these very important classified background documents on every American who applies for a top secret clearance. They were warned at how vulnerable that was. They didn't listen, and now we know the Chinese Communist Party got them all. But to me, the most important thing to begin with is you look at someone who's getting a clearance and you ask them, do they need to have a certain level, and do they need to have access to everything? This young guy, a technician, as a weekend warrior, and look, I'm in the reserves right now. I love our Guard and Reserve Force, but there's no way he should have had that kind of access to every top secret compartmentalized program and very, very sensitive information. So couldn't agree with you more. We got to fix it. We had a top secret hearing on this with 100 U.S. senators pounding the heck out of our security agencies, and they need to get on it. We can't have any more of these type of exposures that are really going to undermine America's national security.
People are allergic to blue ribbon commissions for good reason, but I actually think one might work here if you got the right Republicans and right Democrats to be on it, so that there would be a united front on locking the door. Just basic locking. Democrats don't disagree with you on this, do they, Senator? 30 seconds.
Not at all. Not at all. And I think that's a good idea. But we got a lot more. I'd love to get on the show, talk about the Biden's third year in a row of a weak military budget. We got national security challenges.
Come back, Senator. Come back.
Shrinking the Navy, shrinking the Army, shrinking the Marines. We got a lot of challenges right now.
Keep coming back. We will do national security all day, every day on the Hugh Hewitt Show when senators like Dan Sullivan show up after the obligatory Browns chat. Thank you, Dan Sullivan.